Some of you may be aspiring to positions of leadership in the political arena, but the question is, why do you want to lead? In Africa, the shortest route to ill-gotten wealth is political leadership. If you want to get wealth without working for it at all,
live. This is True Talk, talking real life situation, bringing around the table newsmakers, the wake-ups, the shakers of our democracy, setting the agenda for the forward march of motherland Liberia. True Talk is live with your host, William A. Davis. It's an hour long of cross-cutting political, social, religious, and contemporary issues affecting the society. Make a date. True Talk, bringing our issues to life.
Some of you may be aspiring to positions of leadership in the political arena, but the question is, why do you want to lead? In Africa, the shortest route to ill-gotten wealth is political leadership. If you want to get wealth without working for it at all,
live. This is True Talk, talking real life situation, bringing around the table newsmakers, the wake-ups, the shakers of our democracy, setting the agenda for the forward march of motherland Liberia. True Talk is live with your host, William A. Davis. It's an hour long of cross-cutting political, social, religious, and contemporary issues affecting the society. Make a date. True Talk, bringing our issues to life.
some of you may be aspiring to positions of leadership in the political arena, but the question is, why do you want to lead?
DJ Arch Scolo, let's get this party started.
I knew you were about it. You were acting like a very good girl. Treating me well and wake you so much attention. See me thinking that I found out why. You introduced me to your family, to your mommy and your daddy, and the rest of the siblings them. Tell me why nowadays you start acting some kind of way. Tell me it's either you on party, but you know baby, you were chatting with the mother boy them. Tell me is it true? Is it first? Is it right or wrong? Do you really want to be with them? But you told me it's either you on party, but you're not in it. You were chatting with the mother boy them. Now tell me is it bitter? Is it ball? Is it draw? Is it Frankie? I really wanna know where I stand. My oh, say I really wanna be with you. Tell me what I really gotta do. But I really wanna be with you. Tell me what I really gotta do. Yes, I'm crazy, but you know that I'm not crazy. Everything that happened, girl, you know you are the reason. Up the road, the ghost touch shit. Sometimes I cry, but my cry never helped it. I weep, all my tears down. I feel it contrary, oh. My body told me it's easy, you on party. But you know, baby, you were chatting with the mother boy them. Tell me, is it true? Is it fast? Is it right or wrong? Do you really want to be with them? Body told me it's easy, you on party. But you know, baby, you were chatting with the mother boy them. Now tell me, is it bitter? Is it ball? Is it draw? Is it Frankie? I really want to know where I stand. Oh, say I really want to be with you. I want to be tell me what I really gotta do. But I really wanna be with you. Tell me what I really gotta do. You ball.
They say love is a beautiful thing. Being in love with a red one is a wonderful thing. The TMB too sweet, feeling too deep. When you're on a stage, all of it. Sweet. But love good, love bad. But love knock you down, jealous say you die. When you eat your favor, jealous say you lose your sight. Get you to know every good story have for bad side. I hate to hear love don't cost a thing. Cause not a day, money rules everything. Relationship, loyalty, anything you need. Have money flourish it before it shine. You can read. Not everything glitter that you feel that go. Love is patient, love and not here go. Instead of being with the injured that you don't know, the parable say be with the devil, let's go your grow.
I've been through so much, trying not to love no more. Love is way back better when it comes to letting go. Would you let me know? Would you let me know? You don't love me no more. Would you let me go? Don't make me a finish woman. Don't hurt me, I'm only human. Many years down me bad, down me bad. Don't hurt me, I'm only human. Don't make me a finish woman. Many years down me bad, down me bad.
Yeah. Relationship, the thing are good time and bad time. Let the universe, daytime, nighttime. Some people can't, but they only let the good time. But I prefer the both times. Yeah, now you want a man at your heart, you will carry, hold your ear in your nose, that your more you will bury. Too much to that I want to bring damage. Be with the man, and get to or your manage. You see that other slave winning on a single list. I can let it give you a bad, they're like causing me. That strategy they wanted, you see they want your space. You better hold on to your man, put it in. Not everything glitter that you feel that go. Love is patient, love and not here go. Instead of being with the injured that you don't know, the parable say be with the devil, let's go your grow.
The money won't there.
I came out una bro. Forget it like oh. I came out una bro. So much to find your mommy watao. I came out una bro. Hey, mommy watala me up papi watao. I came out una me I'm a lover, my you sat down drunk, and now I'm you see that drunk. My you let go, me I'm a lover, my you sat down drunk, and now I'm you see that drunk. I show my baby that she says she wouldn't for my one. She don't want nobody else. That wouldn't mean she want. She say, I'm cheap long. When I be so long, I wouldn't be go prolong. All my men say you fall like easy. I say, oh, my ring on your phalange. You ever try to leave me out with bounty? Now you be the tank, we are the tanky. I've been freaking you nonsense, so my friend they love me that nonsense, so loving you now nonsense, so nonsense, so yeah. I've been freaking you nonsense, so my friend they love me that nonsense, so loving you now nonsense, so nonsense. Get the bill, go, yeah, I'm a lover, boy. My you sat down, bro. Now I'm in there, you see now, bro. My you let go, boy. Yeah, I'm a lover, boy. My you sat down, bro. Now I'm in there, you see now, bro.
DJ Oscar.
I breathe, I got frozen. For some reason, I lost my mind. When you were telling me, say you were feeling me too. Spain fanboy, cutie eyes, brown skin looks like chocolate. 6 feet over 6'5", you gon' shy, you just my spec. Once I've been feeling you too that while when you say, be my girl, I say yes, okay. I remember you said, you like your girl with a hiding color like mine. But I we toss so. If you see another girl, have fun, let me. Oh, I found past me. You sure say same when I ain't a carry. Cause I am ready to put in my all. Me by show. For me, la rest show. How when I so and so. And I won't be so. So that we toss so now. That we toss so now. That we toss so now. Let me see together. That we toss so now. So that we toss so now.
Jay-Z.
I know the body so
Immortal. For you. They're putting to do them make a crazy. Come over me, I'm a get there. You see, I'm very sick and happy. I'm trying to have the money net. Yo, send me like you like on my feet. But I'm a king, I can't explain. Maybe I see a journey sick and echo. I'm trying to have the money net. Awesome. Son's your son's down and we did money. Awesome. Son's your son's down and we did money. See the way you so damn fine. Yeah, you keep me right time. Never gonna waste your time. Together we are one. I just want you to believe in me, baby. Look out for me, baby. There is no turning back. And this love is all we got. Next thing you know, I got your back, be your back. Have all the travel around the world, go Miami. Anybody wanna bring you walls, stay behind me. I be your fighter, be my hero, for nobody. You made me so happy, okay, I'm so happy. I want you in my arms all day, yeah. Come to me, yeah. Awesome. Sun's down and we did running. Awesome. From you. Sun's down and we did running. White kid, baby. You got me tripping through the stars like we lost in time. You be water, I be fire, but we still aligned. My twin flame, our love is forever designed. Mean chippy must let him be me, we still your time, or dog. Crash, we bend, but we never let go. Like a furnace from the ashes, let the love grow. No matter the distance, my soul just knows. So when they may range, I may be you with room. Until we know for funny, now say my taba. But when you saw your blind in a kata. I won't listen to nobody in the Pakasada or the Shemin Yamesuya, but Benjamin Canada. You could tell we here, Ghana for this be my queen, see or bear, be you. Kiana makes me Elizabeth, you say, and so my young Vanessa one, Kaya, baby. Sun's down and we did money. Sun's down and we did money. The packaging go, let my person know what to do it. Do.
We can tell you is the former finance minister is now leaving the offices of the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force. We can confirm that to you. The former finance minister wearing a blue business suit. He's about to exit. He's leaving the offices of the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force, having spoken to investigators. What we can also confirm to you is that the former Minister of Commerce, Mawani Diggs, was here yesterday at the offices of Asset Recovery to face investigators as well. And another breaking news is Wilfred Bangura, the former Deputy Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Commerce. Wilfred Bangura is also with investigators of AREPT. He's in the investigation room. We can tell you that for sure. But former Minister Twe, any minute from now, will exit with his vehicle wearing a blue business suit. Let me see from what we've been able to gather. Wearing a blue business suit. He's flanked by his security. He didn't come with Arthur Johnson, that's for sure. Councillor Arthur Johnson did not accompany him today. Rather, he came with his brother, Norris Twe, who is a lawyer as well. So what we can tell you is his vehicle, okay, there you see his vehicle is exiting. We want to see if we can get a few words with him. He spent about an hour and 30 minutes with investigators. That is the vehicle of the former finance minister. I want to see if we can get any words from him. Let's see if we can get any words from the former finance minister. Minister Twe. So he is driving by. Whether or not he will speak to us. No, there you see the former finance minister is driving away. So he has not spoken. He didn't say anything from what you watched on the screen right now. But the breaking news is Mawani Diggs, the former Minister of Commerce, was with Asset Recovery investigators yesterday. She appeared on yesterday to speak to investigators as to what was her role in the $20.5 million rice subsidy that was supposed to have been infused into rice importation to reduce the price for consumers in Liberia. Now, all this happened September 2021 to October 2022. The government of Liberia thought it was prudent as of the time to subsidize rice importation into Liberia, a country that is heavily reliant on rice as a staple. Now, according to Arab investigators, the monies were disbursed, confirmed, but the transaction, according to Arab investigators, there were folks involved in this transaction who were not rice importers, neither did they have any clearly defined role whatsoever. Arab is also alleging that the price of rice didn't change whatsoever, that if $20.5 million was infused into rice importation as subsidy from 2021 September to October 2022, why didn't the price of rice reduce as of that time? But Liberians, according to Arab investigators, bore the full brunt of that. So what Arab is alleging is that the subsidy didn't have the intended effect. The price didn't reduce. The price of rice didn't reduce. This transaction has some serious question marks. And what we can tell you is Wilfred Bangura is currently still there with Arab investigators, the former Deputy Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Commerce under the WIA administration. Wilfred Bangura is still in there with Arab investigators. What we can also confirm to you is yesterday, the former Minister of Commerce, Mawani Deeks, also had a day with Arab investigators. What we cannot tell you is what will be the outcome of these investigations. What we can say is that there can only be one of two outcomes. Outcome number one, whether or not there will be indictments drawn up and trumped up against these individuals. We've been told that the former commerce minister is a serious person of interest because it was her ministry at the time that implemented the subsidy, that the former finance minister Samuel Twe disbursed these monies that apparently were used under some kind of clouded circumstances. But remember, Twe has faced similar charges prior. Just weeks ago, he was acquitted on 5 counts, all 5 counts, not guilty. Those counts included money laundering, economic sabotage, criminal conspiracy, criminal facilitation, misapplication of entrusted property. He walked scot-free. What we can tell you is he has not been charged with anything as of now, but he has had his time with investigators. One key absentee has been the lawyer, Professor Arthur Johnson. He wasn't present with Twe today. Rather, his brother and counselor, Norris Twe, accompanied him to answer these questions. We didn't get the opportunity to speak to Twe. He drove in his SUV, drove away. But whether or not that will be his last time appearing here at Arab's headquarters to assist in an investigation, or we might see him return subsequently. Samuel Twe has left. Wilfred Bangura is still in. We'll be waiting to see whatever significant happens, but this is about subsidy in the tune of $20.5 million. What was it intended for? To reduce the brunt and the price of rice on ordinary Liberian consumers. The 25 kg bag of rice is what we're talking about. But asset recovery established by Executive Order 161 to retrieve and recover stolen asset of the government of Liberia has said that transaction, that subsidy infusion did not meet its intended purpose, and hence this investigation is ongoing. An investigation doesn't mean it's a guilty verdict. It doesn't mean any of those concerned have been indicted. Even an indictment still doesn't mean a guilty verdict. If there will be indictments drawn, meaning you have to go to the court of competent jurisdiction and plead your case as to why you shouldn't be found guilty. Twe is no stranger to that because weeks ago, he was acquitted on all 5 counts. My name is Diamond Slanger. Thank you so much for watching again. Once there is any other significant development happening here, we'll go live. But according to supporters of the former finance minister, they've said, look, according to the PFM law, he's only a disbursing minister. He doesn't have anything to do with the implementation or whatever. All he needs to do is to make sure that the request follows the channel and he signs off on the disbursement. How implementation is done has got nothing to do with him. Remember, in his previous trial Twe and his lawyers proved that the government could not show any sort of personal benefit from the monies they were accused of, the FIA transaction. The government could not prove any sort of economic sabotage. The government could not prove any sort of criminal conspiracy or criminal facilitation. The government could not prove the misapplication of entrusted property. So let's see if we can speak to the Arab PR quickly, just quickly. Just a quick word. Afternoon, Chief. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Okay. I got the time, but still afternoon. So what has been the level of progress made so far? We saw the former finance minister leaving. What can you tell the Liberian people?
Thank you, and thanks to all of you who are here. We've just been hoping for such a collaboration and understanding. This is clearly in the interest of accountability and transparency. So what we expected recently was what that occurred here today. The minister came early this morning at an earlier time than the last time, and he went through the protocols established by the Asset Recovery Task Force, and he was taken upstairs, and from there he went into the investigators' room to answer some questions. That is what we look up to. That's very professional, and it was good that they had the conversation that was due.
Did the finance minister come with his legal team?
Yes, he was represented by a legal counsel.
In person?
I don't want to state who represented. We are actually not interested in that, but he was represented by his legal counsel.
Who are those that are still present in the investigation?
There are a lot of people. So this investigation is not about the former finance minister. This is about accountability on government money that was intended for rice subsidy. So there are others who have been invited. There are others who are also here. We've seen others. You were here the other day when some officials came. The former Minister of State, Honorable G. Wisa Blamo, was here the other day. And other officials continue to come. Former Deputy Minister Samura Wolokoli was also here. So this is a very transparent process. All those involved, we write you come and provide accountability.
Yeah, the former Commerce Minister, Mawani Dix, availed herself to investigators?
Definitely.
When did she?
She was here yesterday. She appeared before investigators, and everything went on smoothly as we usually anticipate. All the other officials that have come here.
Who else is in there?
We've had, series. I cannot give you that information now, so you just wait and see who comes out, who goes in.
Has the task force gathered evidence or document relating to the case so far?
Before we invite anyone, it's because we've had some information. So when we are inviting people, it is based on evidence we have in our possession in order to confront those who we are inviting, in order to provide how they were connected, what role they play within the particular situation.
Do they have timeline for this investigation?
Is there any current official among those who you are inviting, maybe civil servant and other that are they part of this process?
We have a laundry list of people that we are inviting. A lot of people, more than 17 people involved within current officials also will be invited. Some current officials have been invited also. But I told you that we don't go out announcing names of people we're inviting. Now, the reason why you see, yes,
why did you announce the former Commerce Minister's name if you don't go about announcing names?
All the names with me, currently. You asked about her, and I confirmed her appearance. I didn't name, her. So, we just encourage everyone to come. When you are invited, you come and form part of the investigation. But there are a lot of people who have been invited who will be appearing before the task force to provide information. This is about accountability. And I'd like to state this. Being invited does not indicate in any way that someone is guilty. It is part of the investigation process. Now, following the investigation, a full indictment will be drawn. And that indictment now, if unsealed, we get to know who has been found liable of allegedly committing a crime. And by then, arrest will be made following investigation.
So you are clearly stating that there will be an indictment.
We cannot put a time to the investigation. Sometimes these investigations take months. We've had other investigations that have gone for about 2-3 months. So we don't have a timeline to the investigation. We will come up with findings based on what we've gathered. If the investigators are sure that what we have is enough to go to court or to draw up an indictment, then by then an indictment is drawn.
We witnessed the arrival of the former Minister of Commerce and Industry, Wilfred Bangura. I mean, what was he invited for?
I told you this investigation is ongoing. The investigation involves officials from Ministry of Commerce, from Ministry of Finance, Ministry of State. So when you see those people coming in, it's basically to provide information as it relates to this right.
So you are confirming that Bangura is still with asset recovery investigators as we speak?
What I'm saying is that if you see anyone enter,
you just affirm.
I said.
So are is he still with investigators?
If you see anyone entering the building relating to maybe they were former official at the Ministry of Commerce or former official at Ministry of State or Ministry of Finance, it is definitely in relation to what we're investigating.
Thank you. So there you have it. He is tight-lipped on speaking to whether Bangura is in the building, but we can confirm to you that Wilfred Bangura is definitely still in the headquarters there of the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force, speaking to investigators. We can also confirm to you that yesterday, former Commerce Minister Mawani Dix was also here. She had a time with investigators, and we can confirm to you, as you did watch, the former Finance Minister Samuel Twe exiting the offices here of Asset Recovery, making his way to wherever it is he's headed to. He has honored their invitation, and unlike the 21st of May, does not go down with any sort of abrupt leaving. He has had his time with investigators. What we do know is the next stage will be whether investigators feel there is probable cause to proceed to a grand jury of Montserrado County to get an indictment. That is still an option that is available, or whether or not, based on roles played, based on evidence gathered, these names might just be dropped. But from the body language, the tunation, and how he spoke affirmatively, the PR there of Asset Recovery clearly pointed that there might be an indictment coming. As to when these indictments will be drawn up, he said the investigative process takes a period of time that is unspecified. My name is Diamond Slanger from the head office here of Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.
Les pockets rock you, l'épée when you coming true. You can see. All the cool gonna do for me, oh. Baby, your blessing to plant me and I get cut out to oh. You open door, you made a way. Make my enemy call faith. They want to wallow down me. They listen people next day. Me only used to tell me, I mean, they telling me, okay, congratulations. They opening corridor for me to pass. He said, okay, congratulations. See how you turning around for good from the way to farewell. Congratulations. The great I carried, and on your head, the teacher and do well. Congratulations. Yeah, all my kids they wanting me for. All of my Kenya I give it to God. They think you do it love for la mama. Les papi la zoba. Les quoi la tunku. Il est tina do. J'allais te say we na John so. Me I got pepe. You turn around for me. When all of them were looking down on me. Clipper you still a show. Your umpa you slow but show. Let me at those days, tell me answer. You so put your level, tell me what's that. Live better than plan for your dream. Papa, I do as you say. Hey, you can see. All the good gonna do for me, oh. Papa, your blessing to plant me and I get cut up to oh. You opened door, you made a way. Made my enemy talent fade. They wanna wallow down me. I letting people not saying. Me only used to step up and I've been only telling me okay. She open the corridor for me to pass. See how I put on the crowd.
So are you happy now? Tell me it's the best thing now on the other side. Tell me. I used to get so much, but you tried to mind how you couldn't like a fool. Or maybe I was good for you. Yeah, you know that's a 94 road. You know, but I want it for my stuff. You would get what you're looking for. Yeah, you know you would carry your load. You know they would pay you that hot. And you would get what you're looking for. You were there, you were there, you were there, you were there, you were in the highway, you were there, you were in the highway, you were there. Some kind of way, you know what goes around, I come around. And by the time you were nothing but a stand now. Remember you were passing my eye, did I commando? Playing my tip and did I
electoral masterpiece my elephant fund. Kabila Malosa and all 2010, etc. And I quote, elections must be administered by competent professionals adhering to international best practices. Electoral administrators require diverse skills beyond technical and managerial qualifications. They must uphold principles fundamental to electoral best practices, possess a comprehensive understanding of strategies for strengthening democratic development, and commit to delivering quality electoral services to stakeholders. The credibility of any election depends largely on the integrity of the electoral management body and its administrators, unquote. In this regard, I want to emphasize that as a result of my integrity, education, and experience, I'm qualified to lead the National Election Commission at this time in our country's history. If confirmed, I shall ensure that the NEC under my chairmanship is guided by the following principles. 1, integrity. Acting in a non-partisan and independent manner, ensuring full and adequate implementation of the electoral law, rules, and code of conduct. 2, impartiality, treating all stakeholders equitably and providing a level playing field. 3, independent, operating without external influence or control. 4, transparency, maintaining openness, timely communication, and accessibility of records to stakeholders. 5, seven-mindedness, prioritizing the delivery of high-quality services to all stakeholders, particularly voters. And 6, efficiency, using resources optimally and ensuring that activities are sustainable and cost-effective. And 7, professionalism, implementing electoral procedures meticulously and adequately, ensuring all election officials are trained and equipped to meet high professional standards. Honorable Senators, Liberia Democratic journey since 2005 has been remarkable. Through resilient and collective sacrifices, we have built a system where leadership is determined, not by force, but by the will of the people. The National Elections Commission has been central to that program. We have seen improvement in voter registration, civic education, and electoral administration. Elections have been conducted. Transitions have been peaceful since 2005, and democracy has endured. For this, we must commend those who have served before us. We must also be honest with ourselves. Our progress, though real, is not substantial. We continue to face challenges such as operational inefficiency that delay critical processes, funding uncertainties that undermine planning, technological gaps that limit efficiency, logistical challenges across our counties and ministerial areas, persistent barrier to inclusion of persons with disabilities, and a rapidly evolving social media landscape characterized by misinformation and digital manipulation. These, honorable senators, are not just institutional, but national challenges. And if left unaddressed, they have the potential to erode public trust in our democratic processes. My vision, if profound, is clear and unwavering to build a national election commission that ends and sustains the trust of the Liberian people. A commission that is independent in its decision, professional in its conduct, robust in its system, efficient in its operation, inclusive in its reach, and transparent in all that it does. Because, Honorable Senator, when citizens trust election, they trust democracy. And when they trust democracy, they protect the peace. To achieve the vision as mentioned above, I will pursue a focused and result-driven reform agenda. 1, reform of the election law. I will work with the Honorable Legislature and all relevant stakeholders to strengthen our electoral law, ensuring clarity, fairness, and alignment with best practices. 2, building a cordial relationship with political parties and civil society organizations. I will work to build a cordial relationship with political parties and civil society organizations in order to enhance trust and reduce tension within the political space. This will ensure that discussion on issues relevant to our national progress, devoid of focus on individuals. It is important to emphasize that when suspicions surrounding the activities of the electoral management body are reduced, a peaceful political environment becomes a possibility. 3, building the capacity of the NEC staff. We will invest in additional training and professional development of NEC staff to ensure competence, discipline, and excellence in service delivery. 4, infrastructure development. If confirmed, and with your support, Honorable Senators, especially in relation to budgetary allocation, I will prioritize the modernization and expansion of NEC infrastructure nationwide to support the delivery of efficient and effective electoral processes. With regard to financial accountability, I will advocate the sustainable funding of the Commission while strengthening internal accountability systems, because a credible Commission must also be a responsible steward of public resources. In the case of digital transformation, I will lead the modernization of the ICT system to enhance transparency, efficiency, and security in electoral processes, such as data management system and security, ensuring that a genuine biometric process is introduced that will entail the electronic enrollment verification of voters before casting of ballots. Honorable Senators, in a society where the availability of knowledge in many parts is still a major requirement, the need for a robust and persistent civic and voter education activity cannot be overemphasized. In this regard, civic and voter education activities will constitute a major occupation of the National Election Commission, from voter education to result management. Every stage of the electoral process will inspire confidence and withstand scrutiny. If entrusted with this responsibility to lead the Commission, my leadership will be guided by principles that are non-negotiable: independence without compromise, integrity without exception, transparency without hesitation, and accountability without excuses. That may be clear that will serve the interests of the Republic of Liberia above any other interest. My actions will be guided by the election laws and the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. I will not preside over an institution that reacts to crisis. I will lead as one that anticipates, prepare, and prevent crisis, and at the same time deliver effectively. Based on my experience, I am fully aware that the transformation of the National Election Commission cannot be achieved by the chairman alone. It requires the effort of all members of the Board of Commissioners. Most importantly, it requires the support of the Honorable National Legislature, the collaboration of political parties, the involvement of civil society, the vigilance of the media, the trust and confidence of the Liberian people. Indeed, it is an undeniable fact that democracy is not a work of one institution, it is a shared national responsibility. As we look toward future elections, including the next presidential and legislative election, the expectations of our people are rising. They are not asking for theater. They are demanding credibility. They are not asking for excuses. They are expecting performance. And they are not asking for just any result. They are demanding credible results. We must all rise to meet these expectations. As I stand before you today, fully aware of the tremendous nature of this national responsibility, but I'm also glad that it is not insurmountable. For I bring with me not just experience or commitment, not just idea, but resolve, and not just vision, but the discipline to deliver. I respectfully ask for your confidence, not for my sake, but for the consolidation of the Liberian democracy. Together, let us build an electoral system that the Liberian people can trust, defend, and applaud. I thank you.
In the gallery, but it is not accepted for cheering or whatever. Your role is to observe. All right, so I understand that you don't understand our rules, and I didn't mention that. So please, no more clapping or cheering. If not, you will be asked out of our gallery. Thank you. We have some senators walking in when the nominee was speaking. Will those senators please introduce themselves?
Senator Albert Tuwechia from Granco, member of this committee.
I'm Abraham Garros Dela. For the introduction. Next on the agenda is that the questions and answer period. And I think we should begin from the extreme left, and then gradually we can come down to our extreme right. So we gave you starting with 5 minutes, and if you need additional minutes, we'll come back to you. Thank you.
The country kept River said that way for a very long time. Okay. On Rowita, I heard you talking about the benefit of election in democracy. You said one thing that the people are craving, not just for results, but credible results. Can you promise the Liberian people that although yesterday you were the data agent of the Unity Party, unsubstantiated results just yesterday, and today you have been appointed as the chairman, the one to decide the electoral process, including the very institution for which you are keeping the data. Do you think our election will be credible?
Thank you, Senator. I will preside over credible election. My association with the electoral process or the campaign process of the UPNI was a professional contract. I'm not a member of the Unity Party, never been a member. We were granted a contract, the Center for Development and Election Management, of which Jim Fromaya was the Director General. I was Deputy for Administration. I was out of Liberia in 2022. I was in Finland, Helsinki, Finland, assisting with a research process or election in sub-Saharan Africa. When I received a call from my Director General to come, that the UPL line was giving us a contract.
I will short answer this, not a lecture.
Okay. The election, I will present our credible election. Thank you, sir. I can promise that.
If you were in the opposition and you took part in the gun election and you saw the honorable leader making analysis about election, it's hypothetical. You put yourself in the shoes and you are one of the candidates. How would you feel seeing that very person as they want to conduct a next election? Will you feel happy? Will you feel satisfied that morally it can happen?
Thank you, Senator. I wouldn't feel happy if the individual who has now been appointed as chairman of the commission was canvassing for vote for a political party. Where this particular individual providing statistics based on his own analysis. I wouldn't have problem.
Raw statistics at that rate.
That is debatable, Senator. That is debatable. We conducted an election that had huge percentage of invalid votes. And it's an evidence that in Montserrat County, there are 17 electoral districts. And there's also evidence.
I don't want to lecture.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Willis.
Yeah.
You worked for the National Election Commission for about 16 years.
Yeah.
You helped conduct about 3 elections or 4 elections and other by-elections. Once upon a time, you were co-chair of the commission, right?
Acting co-chair, yeah.
Acting co-chair. And your commission almost flung Liberia into chaos. You, as acting co-chair, wrote a communication to one of the political parties that they have won. If you are to retrospect, how do you look at that kind of grievous mistake on your part? And why Liberia would trust you to come again? Maybe in the near future you will do similar thing. Talk to me more about that.
What are you talking about, Mr. Senator? That will be whether as an individual or the commission.
The commission of which you were part.
You wrote a political party that has won election?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Please refresh my mind.
There was an issue with a communication from Big Brother Flumoyan.
Okay.
That the CDC, I think it was a 2011 or 2017. 2011, yeah.
But 2011.
Yeah, you can record that I'm happy.
What I recall is that what I recall, Senator, is that the election was held, results were announced by the commission. The results were published on the website of the commission.
Was there never a communication sent to?
I'm coming to that, Senator. And that 2 political parties were destined for a runoff because none of the parties got the 50% plus 1 during the first round. So 2 political parties were required by law to go for the runoff. A communication was written by the commission, sent to the both political parties, in this case the Unity Party and the Center and the Congress for Democratic Change. And Unity Party that had the highest number, that same number was sent also to CDC. And that was an error. And there was the chairman at the time was required to resign. He resigned. That's what I know concerning that. To the extent that a letter was written to one of the parties that you want, I'm not aware of
Thank you.
that. Thank you, sir.
We're at the University of Liberia. I thought you were a student in history. But most often at times you were under the power making historical analysis here and there. But you got my vote anyway.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator Dillon.
Thank you. Mr. Nominee. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
The people in the gallery, our citizens, from the applause, tells that they came to support you. People in the yard are waiting to cheer you. Most of them will be uncomfortable when we ask questions here. When we put you in that position, and we just manage, we put you there, we'll do our work. When you're not doing your work, you'll say, but end of your confinement, you'll forget that they don't want to clap in here. So most time we let you do our work.
Thank you, Senator.
Even if it is sentimental to some people. So I will do my work. Sure. Thank you. First, no losses from the day you were born. I'm speaking generally. From the day you were born, don't join no political party. Don't join no club. Because one day you're looking forward to be appointed to a place that requires political neutrality. No losses that anywhere in the world. Knowing that human beings will freely associate the law in Liberia and everywhere else where it requires political neutrality. Requires that when that time comes and you are nominated to a position or appointed to a position that requires political neutrality, you should publicly declare and resign from that political connection so that in your job, you can exercise neutrality. With that said, you are on oath. On oath. Are you a member of any political party? Question.
Thank you, Senator. I'm not a member of any political party in Liberia. Thank you.
Have you been a member of any political party? Question.
Thank you, Senator. I was the organizing chairman of the Liberian National Union. And I was the chairman of the party when the transitional government called me to the commission, and I resigned from the party.
Is that party still in existence?
Sure.
But you officially resigned?
I resigned.
Do you have a copy of your resignation?
That was 2004.
Yeah, it's still new record.
I don't know where to find that.
You need to find it. If you resign publicly from a political party to demonstrate political neutrality in keeping with the law, it is a record that you must keep. I need to see it before you inform my vote, part of which I will inform my vote.
Okay.
Okay.
I was trying to find it.
So we'll move on. You served at the election commission before.
Sure.
How do people get to the election commission in the role you are?
How could they get to the commission in the role that I am?
How do people get to the elections commission in the role that you are nominated for?
You get to the commission by having integrity, by having competence.
No, I can't do that yet. You are nominated, confirmed, appointed, in a commission.
Yeah, sure.
You've been acting as chair of the election commission for over 3 months or so.
Going to 2 months.
Going to 2 months. Have you signed any document as chair of the commission?
I haven't signed a document to commit the commission to anything, but I was appointed in the Senate recess and was asked to take over to preside over the commission pending confirmation.
Did you advise that it was inappropriate?
Pardon me?
Did you advise that it was inappropriate?
No, I'm not aware of that, Senator.
You banned commission, you have banned other election commission before.
Sure.
And you know, people are confirmed and commissioned to serve in those positions. Did you advise the president nominating you not to have you go preside over people who are confirmed, because the election law says there's a co-chair who acts in the absence of the chair. If the chair resigns or dies or is removed for cause, the co-chair acts until somebody is properly means nominated, confirmed, appointed, and then commissioned. Did you advise the president that it was inappropriate for you to go and act at the elections commission without Senate confirmation, without proper appointment, and without commissioning? Question.
I did not advise the president because it was the Senate was on recess, and the letter was the appointment was based on pending confirmation. I didn't advise the president because the Senate was on recess.
When were you nominated or appointed as acting?
I was nominated May 30, 2026.
We'll take note of that.
Thank you.
Let's look at vision. Let's look at future prospects.
Yeah.
But first, what's your knowledge of and position on contrasting between threshold for electoral constituency and apportioning electoral constituency? What's the various functions and role there?
Senator, my only guidance is the law. And the law says the legislature shall set a threshold, and the commission can delimit constituency boundary and register voters therein. That's what the law says. That's what I believe in.
So threshold you mean by number?
It's a number. It's a quota that is set.
So the legislature sets the threshold.
Yeah. And
that threshold number is used by the election commission to determine where the constitution.
Yeah. It is that threshold that determines how many seats is in the county.
So if the legislature sets the threshold and sets the number of seats per county, you have courage to say no? Question.
I will remind the legislature about what the law says.
Let me repeat my question.
I will leave the politics aside because
no, that's not political question. Yeah. That constitutional question. The function. If the legislature sets the threshold and then assign the seats per county, assigning seats per county is the role of the election commission. If the legislature sets the threshold and assign the seats, because assigning seats means they already are portioning. Do you have the courage to say no to the legislature? Question.
I will advise the legislature that that is against the law. It is not the legislature role to apportion seats. It is the legislature role under the law to set threshold. And the commission delimit constituency boundary and register voter therein. I have that courage.
Finally, until I come back in the election. What is the elections commission vision, or what is being put in place, mechanism being put in place by the elections commission to have diaspora voting, Liberians in the diaspora, that they can participate in the politics of the country and decide who become president? What, because it is in the law, absentee ballot or something. What is the election commission thinking? And what is your vision in that direction? So that by 2029, we have put into a place the opportunity and the right for Liberians in the diaspora to cast their ballot where they are.
That is a subject of that discussion on the commission. The commission also looking at so many variables. The issue of We come from a conflict situation many years ago. There will be the need for the commission to be in a position to ascertain how many persons have Liberian passports out of there, and so forth. Those are the issues. Okay, it is possible that Liberian passport will be in the hand of non-Liberian. That's a possibility, which is a result of the conflict. So the commission will have to study whether it has the capacity to track those issues.
So it is
that because the law says that it is only Liberian that should vote in an Liberian election.
We got that.
Yeah.
So it is possible that the Elections Commission is looking in that direction, so that where the possibility exists for Liberians in the diaspora to be able to vote. Correct?
But if the tracking mechanism is there to determine how many Liberians are out there, whether passports are in the hands of people other than Liberians, if that tracking mechanism, the capacity of the commission, we wouldn't have any problem.
How do you think we can get that?
It requires several methods, the immigration and other security agencies, tracking agencies, and so forth, working together with the commission, the embassy, the foreign ministry, and so forth to determine. Those
Should we vote for you? Do you commit to work with the committee, the Senate committee that has oversight over the commission to work on these modalities?
Of course. We'll work with them. Our idea, let me speak for my colleague and myself currently at the board. The idea is not to disenfranchise Liberia, but our idea is that those who vote must be Liberian.
The law says anybody who goes to election, especially on presidential ballot, and did not get more than 1 or some more percentage of the vote, should not be allowed to contest again. Am I looking at our law correctly? So, why has will the election commission honor you? Should we confirm you? Will you uphold that law? Question.
To the fullest.
I didn't get you.
We will uphold that law to the fullest, if I'm confirmed.
That nobody who participated in presidential election and did not get more than 1.5% of the vote will be allowed to contest again on presidential ballot.
Yeah, limitation of candidate being consistent with law. I will support that fully.
You on the record.
Thank you.
What are you going to do about trucking finally? What can we do? What are you going to do about trucking? A serious question, but you're laughing. The only reason why you're laughing is because you've been acting. No, and you know, maybe you already be confirmed, so the question is sounding funny.
No, sir.
Okay. What are you going to do about trucking? Trucking is an issue, it's an electoral issue. Important question, don't laugh at it. So let me laugh too. Laugh now, answer my question.
Trucking is an issue that is a concern to the commission. And it is our belief that the voter registration process will address the issue of trucking to some extent.
Come again?
Trucking is an issue of concern to the commission. Because we do not believe that individuals should be able to live in Monrovia and decide who's a representative in Riverside or in Glenbassa. So it's an issue of concern to the commission. So we intend to use the voter registration process to address ourselves to this issue, to that issue as much as possible.
You didn't answer that question. To address the issue to the best of your ability is not an answer. How?
Ensuring that people register where they come from.
How? But Senator Bodo beg you. We know the name of Babolo, yeah? Bodo left him, both left him. Let it stay, let it left him. Let me answer the question, yeah? How will you deal with trucking, which is an election violation? And in fact, election crime.
Senator, we think that senators, people should vote where they register. And based on that, the commission will define mechanisms to ensure that those who vote where they register. To give you the details of that, I cannot say right here the A, B, C, and D. But it's a plan, it's a commitment that people will vote where they register. The commission will endeavor that.
Mr. Chairman, I got 10 more questions, but I will yield for now.
Thank you.
Mr. Nominee, thank you for your referment by the President.
Thank you, Senator.
You were in Ghana between 2000 to 2003, right?
Sure.
From your recollection or reflection, you know that you and myself are living here in Wotu.
Yeah, we live out too.
You remember the thousands of Liberians that were in Ghana and refugee camps and all over West Africa?
Sure.
Do you know what took them there?
I know.
Came into resist.
The issue of elections, I remember 1985, the issue of elections and so forth. And this is why, Senator, the commission considered election as a bridge between peace and chaos. And this is why there are no small elections. It was conflict. It was not a conflict because of land, it was a conflict because of political power.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can remember vividly one night in Awotu. You and I spent almost 4 hours around the local bank, standing on the road, discussing governance in our country. Today, you are being nominated to chair the institutions that were mismanaged, that took you and I in exile. I am sitting here as senator. It is our generation now that should ensure that we don't take this amount of Liberia again in the wilderness. So please answer this question for me.
Okay.
You serve the Election Commission. What are some of the challenges that you observe in election administration in Liberia?
Thank you, Senator. Political parties are the major stakeholders of the electoral process. There's a challenge regarding the spread of political parties in Liberia. That's a challenge. The issue of funding for the commission is a challenge. And there are a lot of other issues when you talk about the time of campaigning. The time campaigning based on the road situation that exists in the country. We hope that improves now. That's a challenge. And you talk about how informed by the people, the awareness among the people regarding the electoral process. That's a challenge. These are some of the challenges I was here when I was a member of the commission.
There is this public perception that, whether it is right or wrong, but it's a public perception, that the Election Commission always in the shadow of political decision makers. What's your thinking about that?
I served under Charles Judy Bryan in the transitional government. I did not experience any teleguiding from the executive to the commission. Under President Sirleaf, I did not observe that. So I cannot readily agree with that perception. But there are structures Number one, funding to the commission is one of the means of independence of the commission. You pay the piper set the tune. So if you look at the Ghanaian version, there is a quota set or a percentage of the national budget that is put in an escrow every year, so that by the time you get an election, there's sufficient resources available to commence the process. We think there's need to be an improvement in that cycle. But to say there's a political direction as to what you do and what you don't do, we maintain you at the commission at the night.
And lastly, before I can be given another opportunity by the chair, there's a growing concern about the positioning or the establishment of voting centers.
Okay.
For those of us from the leeward counties, some of our people have to walk 3 to 4 hours to the next center to vote. That alone can exclude or deny, I don't want to use such a word, the opportunity for the people to exercise their franchise. What is the plan you have?
Thank you so much. The commission had their own plan with regard to increasing the number of registration centers across the country. And that particular plan by the commission has been buttressed by the European Union election result report. The 2023 election report by the observation report by the European Union, where they indicated that the amount of registration centers should be increased and that they should target, those increments should target populated areas. And the commission intends to take advantage of that. In the draft law, the law that is to be submitted by the commission to the legislature, there's a provision in there that talks about increasing the amount of voters per precinct from 3,000 to 4,000. In other words, you will now be able to open 8 centers in the precinct instead of 6 under the current law. So there's a plan to do that. We have assured the European Union and other people that is part of our plan, and we execute that.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity. Mr. Nominee, let me congratulate you for your performance by the Chief Executive. Again, I think when you inform this body about your experience at the Elections Commission, the work is very interesting.
Thank you, sir.
But let me ask you, with the huge experience you have at the commission, what do you think that needs to be done to transform the place, to make our election process what it ought to be?
Thank you. We are part of the Committee of Nation, and there's a graduation from a manual system to a digital system. I remember there was a delegation from Ghana during the 2020 special senatorial election. I left the commission at that time, was in private consultancy. And the ECOWAS ambassador here requested a team from Ghana to take a look at our electoral roll, the electoral roll from 2017, in order to use it for the conduct of the special senatorial election of 2020. Ambassador Ajisumo sent for me and former Chairman Fromuyam. And we had extensive discussion with a team from Ghana that came. One of the observations was clear that you have to graduate from manual to digital. Because even if there's an error on the roll, once it is manual, it becomes difficult. The only thing we can do is to do facial recognition on the roll in order to salvage the situation for you to conduct the election. But a key recommendation in their funding was that we should graduate to digital means or manual. Based on that, we have the view that a full biometrics process will ensure transparency and will grant credibility to the results of elections. Biometrics is a one-time investment, and electoral experts around the world concluded as an anti-fraud system, and the Commission intends to use that for. In other words, both enrollment and verification before casting of vote. We intend to do that. Thank you, sir.
So from your experience, as a long-time servant of that, think can we achieve that during 2029?
Sure, it's achievable. And the good thing about it is that we have Starlink. So enrollment can take place and card can be given immediately across the country. So in other words, Liberia is graduating from a challenge environment. Challenge environment are those places where there's no internet connectivity across the place. But with Starlink and with the blessing, with the support of the legislation, we will acquire the resources to get Starlink. We will enroll and get card the same day, and there will be verification before the casting of ballot. In other words, you have no double registration. Okay? That's it. And I also requested my appeal to this Senate to grant resources to the Commission to ensure that there is massive and robust civil education across the country to limit the amount of invalid votes. Thank you, sir.
You have been serving at the Elections Commission, so you are an experienced person.
Sure.
Observe that when elections is held and a candidate is declared winner, the losing candidate can challenge the one that is declared winner. And because of that, that one that declared winner is not allowed, see, until that is brought against that candidate is adjudicated and disposed of. How you look at that does deny the other district or county to be represented in that sense.
Thank you, Senator. There was a provision in the election law, section 3.25. We indicated that if you are elected in an election, you will be seated. The winner will be seated. He will believe that they lose and they lose, they have a reason, sufficient reason beyond reasonable doubt to go to court. And at the end of the day, if the losing candidate is adjudged by the court to be the rightful winner of the election, the person who seated will be removed and the person will be settled retroactively. That was the law until 2014. The 2014 Ebola election, the special senatorial election, and the issue was concerning Cape Mount. And there's a law that says that okay, when the election is conducted and there's a complaint there, it's handled by the magisterial office. And the result from the magisterial office is not accepted by the complainant. It goes to the Board of Commissioners. On the Board of Commissioners, if you don't accept the result from that, then you can go to the Supreme Court. But Cape Mount was a strange situation. Former Chairman Kupera and myself, I decided to go to Cape Mount. We got from there. The vote between the two candidates there was very, one had 10,000 votes, and another one had 3,000 votes. But the one that had a 3,000 votes, at the end of the day, during the investigation of the complaint at the magisterial office, was denied that, putting everything together, the difference between your vote and that of the the candidate, the winner that you are contesting against, even if we took vote for and give it to him, it would still make a difference. So the result stands. The candidate decided that they were not satisfied with the result. But they did not come to the board. They went straight to the Supreme Court and filed for prohibition. Chairman Kukura at the time, I said, went to the court, met the board, the bench. We are speaking to them. The Honorable Chief Justice Johnny Louison, when such a situation is to occur, you send the people back to the commission. So we are appealing to the board to send the case back to Cape Mount. But Justice Lang was the justice in chamber. He refused to send the case back to her and he issued a prohibition that no certification should be done until the election result is investigated. At the end of the day, the Supreme Court struck down 3.25, which was the guarantee that if you think you won the election and you are not declared a winner, you can go to court. They struck it down, and in place is what we have today. That one, there's a protest against the result of the election. The winner cannot be certificated. The result of the commission is multiplicity of complaints, whether they have merit or no merit. Once it is filed, nothing can be done. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. How do you see the elections commission conducting an election and a candidate is felt cheated, and therefore they feel cheated, and that candidate take up an issue against the election commission, and the election commission staff is investigating the case?
Thank you so much. Article 83C of the Constitution that gives that right to the commission. If an amendment of the Constitution is done, we could be looking at the possibility of a different structure to handle election protests, apart from the commission investigating herself. But until that amendment is done, then nothing can be done at the level of the statute. Thank you, sir.
So let me ask the last question.
Yeah.
My last question is, you talk about domicile.
Yeah.
Somebody comes from out of the country or from Monrovia, goes to an ex-district in the rural part of the county of the country, and not living there. Why really consider a domicile? A person can be considered that yes, that person is here.
Thank you. You have investment in the place. It's a place that you intend to return to. It's a domicile. A place that you have investment, you pay taxes, and you plan to return. It's a place that you plan to return to. Okay. You can resign moreover and be domiciled in another area. Thank you, Senator.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, my brother and friend.
Thank you, Senator.
Mr. Wheeler. I'd like to follow up on, I have other concerns, but I'd like to follow up on some of the other questions with respect to the provision of the election law 60.5 that was struck down by the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
We are aware that the Supreme Court on our system government has the authority to interpret law. And in interpreting the law, the Supreme Court always, in many instances, gave rationale, the reason why they are making a particular decision. And in many instances, if there are ambiguity in the law, then the Supreme Court clarifies that through its decision and gave the rationale for its decision. So, do you recall in that particular case, what was the rationale, or whether there was ambiguity in the law for which the Supreme Court sees the opportunity to strike down a particular provision in law. My question gives a background that if that is the case, then the legislature can clarify the law.
Well, with regard to ambiguity, I didn't see any ambiguity in that law. It was clear that when the Election Commission declares the winner of an election, they should proceed to fulfill the last step, which is certification. But the Supreme Court, we know the Supreme Court is an appealing court, but the Supreme Court in the particular instance acted with four petitions. There was nobody who went and said this particular thing was due is injured. They took one to himself and struck down the law. That's it. We raised that with the court, and they told, okay, we hear you. Thank you. That's it.
Okay,
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So currently, I saw on the agenda today there's an amendment to the election law that has been passed by the House and submitted to the Senate. Maybe if confirmed, I would propose that we all work together so that we can review that aspect of the law that was struck down by the Supreme Court. And it was on the basis of any ambiguity or whatever the rationale was, if we can clarify, properly clarify the law so that we can do that in the amendment, in the penny amendment.
We'll welcome that. That will be a relief to the Commission. And my appeal to the Senate is that you kind of go a little bit slow on that submission for the House so we can reason together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'd like to know one major, I've heard in some quarters arguments against your confirmation, owing to the fact that you owe allegiance to the political party. Quote unquote, people believe that, there are many people who believe that many times the Election Commission has the capacity to undo the will of the people, that they have the capacity to cheat, if I may put it simply. And I realized over the years that political parties don't have the capacity to collect and tally their own results across the country. All political parties rely on next result, which is official. Even though as it is the law that it is midnight that it declares result. But it is also good for the participants in an electoral process to have the capacity to know exactly how well they perform before the results are announced by the Election Commission. On your leadership, do you think it will be a good thing, just so that we go away from the mindset that Election Commission will cheat, or any party who goes there will have the capacity to cheat? Do you think it will be a good thing for us to work together and to work with our international partners to build the capacity of political parties, so that at the end of an election, those parties will have the capacity just like to know exactly how they perform, even though they are not the ones to declare the official result, so that if they have it and you declare, you have the opportunity to compare. By that, maybe that whole mindset of neck can cheat or neck will cheat will be eradicated. Do you think it will be a good thing for us to work together to achieve that?
It's a good thing, but to strengthen, as I indicated here, one of the challenges the Commission faced in response to Senator Smith's question was that the weak nature of political parties, and they are the principal stakeholders of this process. When political parties are strong, and they know they can train their members as to what to look for at the polling center, that it can be represented. It will be difficult to get support from international institutions, because if you decide, okay, maybe as a certain benchmark like you, like you want to do, you say, all party equal. That's the issue. So we will want to work together with you. If there's a benchmark that certain parties for me in order to get assisted, I think it will be a good thing, working in concert with the legislature to arrive at such a structure. I think the political party is easy to strengthen their structure.
Yes, so in line with that,
All right, now we move to.
Excuse me.
Come again. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
So please take note of the time. I have 2 questions.
We'll look at
10 questions here. So please take note of it.
No, that doesn't matter. On the
Yeah, so in line with that, Honorable Commissioner, Acting Commissioner, as I indicated there, we had and rightful advice that we take time. So go ahead with the amendment. Pending conversation with Nate. In line with that, do you think it would be a good idea for us to set a benchmark that political parties will have to meet so that they get support in the interest of democracy and sustainability?
I think we have a opportunity, and we are in a reform process. Yeah. The electoral reform process. We'll deal with that. And we'll welcome it.
Okay, one last question. What is this issue of a political party headquarters being only in Monrovia? Do you look forward to a reform?
Most of his questions are around political parties.
Do you look forward to an amendment?
Well, I think there's an amendment, there should be an amendment of the law. Yeah. That once you're a political party, the essence of political party is a secure state power. Yeah. And if your objective is to secure state power, you should have representation across the country. Exactly. This one I say that you're now offering CD, you don't have, but I think that should be amended. When you're a party, you should be represented.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, are you the chairman?
Mr. Chair. For some of you that just came in,
before you came in,
round, then you start left, and you go right. In the process, we have some intervention for a 5 o'clock meeting that former Pro Tem our chair, Chairman Moyi, and Nkwe has a 5 o'clock meeting. So I need to ask, should we allow them to ask the questions? Then after them, continue the rules. Oh, wait. Will we allow them to, can we give them a dispensation? All right, with your consent, we'll give them a dispensation. So, no, I'm a democratic chair.
Thank you. You want to? Well, thank you. So, Chairman, thank you very much. I'll be very brief. Thank you. I will be very brief. To the nominee, you stated that the commission independence sometimes is largely dependent on your financial capacity. You gave an example of the Ghana Election Commission. And I think it's quite good given the fiscal space of our country. I think we need to follow suit. You've been IT. Have you developed any activities leading to 2029 and costed it, and you have that information so that we can begin to plan on what you just stated?
Thank you, Senator. When I took over as acting chairman on the 1st of April, I requested for the current budget, the 2026 budget for the commission. Because in the post-election period, one of the leading focus of the commission is civic education. And you talk about lesson learned, you talk about building the capacity of the staff before you go to the electoral period. Took the budget, when you presented to me, there's no lines, nothing for civic education. There's nothing for consultancy. There's nothing for travel, both domestic and foreign. There's nothing. So if you're like a commissioner and not supposed to be here and you know, these are things that I noticed. Okay. These are things that I noticed, and I think there's a need to correct it in order for the commission to be able to perform its duties.
Okay, so that's why I said.
Yeah.
Have you costed the activities leading to the 2029 election?
What is that? We are not known as senators, we are in the process.
You think you can work on that so that we have that information ahead of time?
For sure, we do that. Planning for the 2029 election begins a minimum of 24 months to prepare for the presidential legislative election according to international electoral practice. So
the different elections are costed because remember one point in time there was an issue that excess money left apparently commission only budgeted, and then they had the excess money after a kind of election, and they also whether to remit it to the consolidated account or the commission should use it. How do you go about costing your different activities so that you're not get chunky people in the legislature or the executive for finance?
thank you so much, Lisa. The commission budgeted for verification, for verifiers. The commission budgeted for verify. So that after the parliamentary enrollment, you have to verify before you are given ballot to vote. Unfortunately, after budgeting and the money was given, verifier were not budgeted for the 2023 process. So people enrolled by digital, but they were verified manually by checking for your name in the row. That was in 2023. So the money for the verifier left over. Besides that, they were budget prepared for election hazard. During the election, there's what we call general allowance that is given to the staff for the 1 year period, 12 months. That was budgeted. But all of that money that was budgeted, 8 months was paid. The rest of the 4 months is still outstanding. I think that is the source of the money that left over.
Okay, so I would just advise when you are confirmed, work with your team to cut the activities leading to 2029 so that we begin as a government to fund it, yearly. And I think your suggestion will be considered because 2029 we may not have that bulk money to support the commission. So beginning this 2027, if that information is provided to the leadership of the legislature, we can begin now to fund it gradually, and then it can be stated in the budget law that it should be placed in a special escrow for the function of the election commission. So with that said, I will ask the chairman to just give us a subcopy of your presentation. I think it's well loaded, and I think we can hold you by that. And I think you did extremely well. So congratulations. You have my support.
Thank you. Okay, we started here.
You're not right. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me begin by congratulating Wida for his preferment by the president.
Thank you, Senator.
I do not have many questions, just very few. The first one is, why do you think the framers of the 1986 Constitution in Article 89 established the National Elections Commission as an autonomous commission? Why do you think they did that?
Thank you, Senator. There are 3 models of the Electoral Commission. We have the mid system, which is sometimes people call it a political model. And the mid system is where representatives of political parties constitute the commission. And we have the independent model, which is framework of our constitution chose. And a particular commission is amenable to the legislature. The legislature represents all sectors of the society. And then we have the government model, in which case the interior ministry performs the title of the electoral commission. Those are the 3 from the framework of our constitution has been decided. Because based on our experiences, the past governance in this country, I think they decided that the independent model is the right one.
So the key word is independent.
Independent.
Okay, that's why the framework said, let's make this commission autonomous.
Autonomous, yeah.
The next question is, Honorable, you are before us for confirmation.
Yeah.
If confirmed under your leadership, can you confirm you can make NEC truly independent under your leadership?
Thank you, Senator. I wouldn't brag, but I'm a man of integrity. I will do my best to transform the Guinea Association of Macaulay, to transform the commission into an entity that is credible. This is my pledge to the people of this country, that they will not have to vote and refuse to go home because they are afraid before they are put the temple. If I'm confirmed, that people will vote and go to bed, that their will will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I listened to you in your introduction. You previously served on the commission, I think 2 times now, before this nomination, right?
Yeah. Yeah, apart from the transitional period of 2 years.
Okay, you serve on the commission as commissioner.
Yeah, transitional period.
Okay. Now, with your experience as a past commissioner, what new are you bringing? What do you hope to achieve? Given your experience, what do you hope to achieve after maybe a year or after your tenure? When you look back, what do you want us to remember you for? What new thing do you bring on the table?
Thank you, Senator. As you indicated, I was a commissioner. I've never served as a chairman because the agenda of the commission is written by the chairman. But Jimmy Mfumwe, Francis Johnson Morris, who is now Alice, Lisbeth Nelson, and so many people. Some of them are no longer with us. 2004, we went to the commission under the transitional arrangement. We met the election commission on top of the supermarket. And I worked with my colleague, headed by Mfumwe. We took the commission from a rental property to a place where the commission has its own facility. We build structures across the country, offices, warehouses. The government of Liberia used to pay for 8,000 or more for a warehouse, renting a warehouse star base. We established a warehouse at the commission. We built a conference center at the commission. The commission no longer need to rent and so forth. I saw these things. I was from where and other people at Channel. I will digital the commission. There will be 4 digitalization of the commission. I will expand the infrastructure of the commission with the support of the Senate. Commissioners and staff will not leave here and go look for hotel to sleep. I went to Ghana. That was Kwadia Farika, who is a Doyen when we talk about election in Africa, Nigeria, West Africa. I traveled with him. We went to Ouagadougou, and then to Bakatanga, Upper East, capital. We moved, we got to a place in the evening, let's sleep here and continue the journey to Kumasi tomorrow. We moved in and said, I said, which hotel be? He said, no, this is a commission guest house. So when you leave town as a commissioner and a trust staff, you go to a guest house and be protected and so forth. Besides that, we intend to work out our colleague in conjunction with budgetary alignment from the Senate, budgetary support from the Senate to be regional headquarters. Well, all the electoral material that you have to be stored in Makoto, it should be in the region as a whole, where you can be said this review. These are some of the changes that I intend to bring to the commission with your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Nominee,
yeah,
I have just one concern.
Okay.
That I would appreciate for you to address. And that concern has to do with election transparency. It is extremely possible that Nigerians will vote freely, you will announce fair results, and still the apprehension will be there that you cheated because of lack of transparency. When people don't see the process is transparent, they tend not to believe what you give them, even if you are announcing the right thing. So transparency matters a whole lot in the process. So for us, you and your team will do diligently well. You will be upright, you will be fair, but still the country could be upside down because they don't believe what you announced was right. So transparency matters a whole lot. There are people who believe that when you talk about Liberians in the diaspora voting, you are talking about Liberians in America and Europe. Of course, if that is what most people believe, and you cannot be discriminatory in the approach or the policy that guides Liberians outside of Liberia voting. You have thousands of Liberians in Ghana. Now you have Liberians in East Africa or South Africa. Thousands more now in China with the same kind of advancement in America existing where they are. And so when you put into place policies for Liberians in the diaspora before, of course it has to be across the board. And it has to be done in the manner that Liberians back home who are voting see it as being credible and transparent, or else we are headed for disaster. So my thing is transparency matters. So I would like for you to address the issue of how do you intend to live up to that part of the legal requirements that suggest that Liberians in the diaspora can vote without discriminating against the rest of, I used to be refugee, so I'm concerned about that, without the rest of the other Liberians not living in Europe and America being able to participate. That one. Then two, you spoke lengthily about digitizing the elections. And I think that feeds into the concern about transparency of the election results. The whole idea that we will vote, but only the chairman of the Elections Commission announces the official result is incomprehensible, because what we who have voted know is from the Elections Commission across the country. So it should be as credible and as reliable as what you announce. In other words, we should know the results of the election even without you mounting the podium to suggest that no, that result is not official. This one is not official. Suggest that there's a possibility that what comes from the field will be different from what you announced. So how do you deal with that concern? And so, all in all, it's the transparency concern that I'm concerned about. Can you throw a light on that? Thank you.
Senator, the diaspora voting, the law is prescribed. It is a process to put in. It requires a whole lot to put into practice. As we just did it, we have Liberia in Rwanda, we have the Kenya, the Ghana, we have the heroin. The law says it. So I think it's important that we continue to strive to meet the requirement of the law, but there's a whole lot that is required. And if you ask me here whether I can achieve that before 2029, I can't sit there and show you that. I think we will continue to make effort to respect what they don't say. And the question of transparency is important. I indicated that, but now talk about awareness, and I've said building cordial relationship with political parties. Sometimes that'll develop when the commission is silent. Nobody knows what they're doing. When Jimmy from our chairman, the data center was open to all opposition parties. He used to come, political leaders used to come with them on the guided tour of the data center. Well, at a certain point in time, sometimes it's like a taboo, nobody enter the place. When the table atmosphere exists, people become suspicious. I intend to erase that, to open the center, to hold regular meeting with the inter-party consolidated committee, to brief them when there's major decisions before they are made. I want to build cordial relationship with political parties.
On the same issue, when I talk about digitizing the results, so that we do not have to wait for the chairman to announce the result before the world knows it. I was specifically asking, is there a possibility, like for instance in Maryland, I'm from Maryland, that the result is conducted today, and the next day there's a bulletin in Maryland that anyone can see, not paper with the magistrate or with the individual, that anybody can go up there and see the results. And inside they can see the results. And people can know before you mount the podium and say, this is the result. Is that possible?
That is possible. That is possible. It's possible in that, like one of the things that obstructed that political parties have not been able to know what their results are. It's because political parties have not been, most parties have not been able to have the capacity to have representations across the centers. We used to have 5,000 now in 11 centers. Maybe a little bit more than that. But very few parties can even get representation 60,000. And this is why I think somebody spoke about the support of our partners to assist us in that. The problem is the Senate and all, we have to work together to establish a benchmark after the electoral reform process. The political parties that needed members should be entitled to some level of assistance, whether from the state or from foreign parties. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome the nominee. Congratulations on your preferment. That's what I have. Mr. Nominee.
Yeah.
What is the goal of Commissioner Strength in conflict resolution? My impression and my experience shows that the Commission takes every decision it makes that comes from its agents as true and final. Even if there's a challenge, you want to justify and keep that result historically. Is there a development to look more into that direction? Because there are people on the field who have some issues. And when it comes to you as a board, you have to be above the fray. But everything that comes to the board is confirmed or is appropriated almost to the best of my experience.
Thank you, Senator. Yeah, there have been some cases. But if I'm confirmed, I can assure you that will not happen. There will not be what you call rubber stamp process that whatever comes from the magisterial area, meaning the board will accept it. No.
You see, you refer to the Supreme Court attempt to strike down one of your rules, sections.
Struck it down.
Okay, you confirm they have been struck down. It is because when the board confirms almost everything that comes to it, and if people go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court can be very technical and critical. But let's go to the issue at stake. The issue at stake has to do with your hearing officers. How you recruit? How do you recruit? How do you vet and recruit the hearing officer? And how can we rely on the hearing officer since they are contractors?
Over the time there in March 2020, we used to target the law school students. We had the grad school of law, senior students. We target them to serve as officers and other lawyers also. Yeah. We look at competence, we look at integrity, look at some track record of it.
So how would that go far to ensure that party other laws are now recruited by the vetting process?
That is a bit difficult. It's like you go to, you're recruiting presiding officers, you're recruiting electoral supervisors. It is difficult to see that individual with party regalia. They have those sound with them. So it becomes difficult to tell whether the guy is a member of the party or not. So he come to you as a plain citizen, we apply and say, you want the school year, look at the legal requirement to recruit them. Some of them they do, sometimes some of them do things out of the way. So we go to the place and tell people, look, this is the election commission. If you come to work for the election commission, you cannot keep your own partisanship here. They say, oh no, you sound people that they are not. And we recruit them based on that.
You are asked this question consistently because my experience on the field showed that hearing officers even go to the point of refusing to receive complaint. We have to call Monrovia, and Monrovia will have to call them and say receive it.
Wow.
Yes. 2014. It happened in Lofa. It happened. I don't know 2014 about General Kukwaya, about I think what Mr. Kukwaya got called before the hearing officer could take this complaint. So there has to be a measure where hearing officers will not operate at their wings and caprice, of themselves. There has to be some standard, some vetting measure to make sure that these are strong individuals that have been recruited to manage complaint.
Thank you, Senator. We are planning to recruit inspectors across the country that will observe the behavior of magistrates and hearing officers and so forth. We look forward, if conference, to put that into practice.
Okay, let me just summarize the highlights of some of the concerns on the election commission, not necessarily individuals. One, the lack of public trust. Okay. Two, weak dispute resolution transparency, which we just talked about. C, some level of efficiency administratively, as evidenced recently by the strike of your staff. Okay, so those are some of the areas that could bring about concern in the future if it continues to be the way it is. So if you take that under advisement and study, and you can do something about them, of course, there will always be the question of funding. But as one of my colleagues indicated, people work sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours. It has become burdensome on the candidates to even have to transport voters. They're not talking. Voting area from where they are, for example, you live at 15 gate and you're voting in Kakata. So that would not for the trucking. Trucking is from here to Lofa. Okay? Or from here to Grand Crew. From here to Grand Crew, where you come from. You step up from Bytown, then you're trucking. You're on the phone now, I'm giving you the highlight. So, Mr. Commissioner, these are areas. Because for me, I know I want the Supreme Court my case and I want the case. And I'm prepared to do that in the future if nothing is done again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Nominee, good afternoon again. Good afternoon, Senator. No time fast spent. We have to do the job of the Liberian people because the political parties, the citizens are watching us do our job expeditiously. I just want to ask you a few very basic questions. Most of the big administrative and structural questions have been asked by many of my colleagues. But I want to go into detail about what affected me during my by-election. You take emails from us, and you take numbers from us. Do we ever make use of them? On the candidate registration, that you take emails from us, you take phone numbers from us. Do you ever make use of them in informing candidates between registration, all the information that you share up to voting day? Do you? That should be the case with the political affairs office. I like the way that's the instruction. And I can say to you here, I'm willing to be on the record so we can go into it. Now, one day, during the process, did I receive one email from anybody from there? I think I received 1 or 2 text messages on very, irrelevant issues other than the main issues. You have to rely on people in NEC and call them every day. What's going on? I'm being serious here. I was disappointed when many of us are in the bushes and trying to mobilize our people, and we are, when you hit coverage area, you check your phone, you don't get anything unless you call someone, and that was appalling. Information sharing also, builds confidence of the public and political parties and actors in the commission, and that should be. And I'm saying this because this was one of the main issues that really hurt me during the process. The second thing I want to talk about is ballot papers and pictures. So I have deliberately, during my process, made me to be in one shape for 3 years. It was a political strategy. When I lost the first elections in 2023, and then the by-election came, one of the candidates deliberately went and formed similar clothing as mine. And the clever thing I did is that I registered on the very first day because I knew somebody who had done something silly like that. Now, we both were wearing similar clothing on the ballot paper. I raised the issue with NEC. I wrote the office in signing credit, wherever they are in Tapet. I wrote the hair office. I made follow-up calls, the director or whoever, and they told me that nothing could be done about it. And I think if nothing could be done about it, that is a dangerous precedent. Because that action was deliberate on the part of that person. I called him more than 25 times and proved it with phone records. And they told me nothing could be done about it. And I told them that the fact that I registered first, what the verification exercise is about, to verify. We're not just bringing pictures because you want picture of us. If the picture is not, good enough, you will reject it, right? If it has the background that you don't want, you will reject it. Why if a candidate raises an issue concerning similar clothing, it didn't claim the attention of the people to tell the candidate, and we still have a long window of almost 3 weeks to the elections. And the person just registered. By the time the form came out, I informed them. And I think those are little things that we should look towards. And if nothing can be done about it based upon your rules, there should be something done about it. And I think so. My last issue, which is not of mine, which is a constitutional issue raised by one lawyer who, because members of the public sent us concerns. And so his issue is voter registration. That you do voter registration every 6 years. And his point is that there will be people in between who will reach of age, 18 and above. And the fact that the Constitution suggests that anybody who is 18 and above is qualified to vote, he feels that the longevity of voter registration is disenfranchising a lot of Liberians who have reached of the voting age.
Thank you.
What do you have to say about that, Mr. Chair?
For the last one, the electoral system, the voter registration system that we have was the periodic registration. We are now graduating from that to perpetual registration.
What does that mean?
Perpetual registration means we register genuine biometric. We have the gadget trace tool at the headquarters of the commission in the ministerial area. Anybody that turns 18 and above, you can work there and on the move. That is the system we envision. I've been discussing here.
You're thinking about it?
Yes.
It's not yet in
This
action.
is why we are discussing we move towards 2029.
How long do we have to see that? I know you will say with your support, yes. I think you that one. But how long will that take for us to see, actions towards that? This is very important.
2029, you will have that because the process started with my police department and we are going to make it work better because there will be verification attached to the enrollment process. They verify that. You'll be verified before you have to put out the ballot. What am I talking? You're arriving at the way we are finger. You present your